machine, angry kid, bad at every level, calling out the kings and the fish and lady devils. Paradise is burning down, words of paradise, burning down the town. He talks, he fights, he stays up through the night. Paradise is burning down, words of paradise, he wears a digital crown.
Welcome back to a very late in the afternoon edition of the Lunch Hour, because you know what? Somewhere in the world, it is lunchtime. I apologize that today's stream had to be postponed, but I had a whole lot going on. A whole lot of frankly, not good, if I'm being honest. But it has nothing to do with YouTube. It has nothing to do with streaming, so it is what it is. Stuff put on the back burner. You'll love to see it. Thank you to everybody that showed up and showed out. We still going to have a great day, because I was not going to get away with not talking about this Belfast stuff. I was not going to get away with not talking about the Belfast stuff. Like, this shit is, more like the dinner hour. Exactly. In fact, I didn't even finish dinner, because I told y'all we would stream later. And I told y'all it'd probably be around 7 when Sevy started her stream. So I made a pork chop, ate like half of it. I made a pork chop in like 7 minutes, ate half of it, then rushed here to start the stream. So yes, it's the dinner hour doesn't really make sense, because for me, dinner was all of 4 bites. So that being said, it is what it is. It's going to be a great day. We got to talk about the Belfast stuff. We still got the watch party. Me and Hypno, I believe, are starting Lords of the Fallen tonight. Do need to make sure and check on that. It's like they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Exactly. Frankly, today's been such a whack-ass day. I might be breaking out the fucking vodka on this stream. We'll see. The night's young. Who all we got up in this bitch? Well, first of all, I see a couple of pre-stream legends. Fab coming in with a 10 bangers. Bingo, bingo, bongo. How very like you to be ultra late and gay. Well, it's my month. I can get away with it. On a serious note, hail. I hope everything is going well. Everything is well. Here, have a dono for the grift. Shout out. Thank you oh so much. And War Wizard, member for 11 months. That is a bang, dude. You almost there. Almost that 1 year mark. That Super Saiyan God mark. The fuck is this? I feel like you're becoming very, very liberal with the term lunch. This is more like Leon's late snack hour that lasts 2 hours. Yeah, today's been weird. I'm not going to get too much into it, but today's been weird. Who all we got up in this bitch? Fab is here. Matt Stanford, you love to see it. Again, thank you so much for the 10 banger. Thank you. It's truly appreciated. The late plug of Muddy Waters. I ass and at like that. What the fuck does that even mean? Anthony Way is here. Shout out Cliff. Memphis Sky is up in this bitch. Again, War Wizard, thank you for memberships for so long. Too Cool Curry, that darn otaku is up in this bitch. Xavier is here. Shout out. The Skull Monkey Media. No shit. I made board jobs. Nice. Yeah. It was like, what do I already have thawed that I can make real quick before my stream? Pork chops. Like, it was super simple just to have some protein. Double A, yes. What's up, homie? Appreciate you showing up and showing out. Alrighty. Like I said, it is the very late lunch hour. So, you boys still got that green tea. No sugar, great for the gut biome. Hope y'all getting your protein today. And there was no way I wasn't going to talk about this. Like, first of all, Fab was very excited for me to talk about it, and I don't like letting my crew down. So let's go ahead and get into it. What the fuck? That's the wrong button. What the fuck is going on in Belfast? Beheading victim family statement sparks cover-up claim as Belfast prepares for more riots. Gaslit. Now, I don't know too terribly much about this case aside from the fighting Irish are doing what the fighting Irish do. Thank Christ. Like, if somebody in that part of the world is going to rise up and fight against it, your good goddamn right is going to be the Irish. I wish the Brits would do the same. But all I know is there's riots going on because what seems to be a criminal migrant attempted a beheading. Dude did survive from what I was reading. Now, unless things have changed since I was reading up on this, he's in critical condition in the hospital, and people in Ireland are just fucking fed up with it. So let's learn about this.
The local community have had enough.
Belfast is closed, and we're looking there at the central city mall, and certainly all of the shops.
Oh, the Brits are getting in on the riots? Good.
Seem to be shut. No people.
From me speaking to police, from what I can hear, they're all on the side of the community.
Bro, why is it like Anne Hathaway if she got beat in the face with a shovel? Like, this straight up looks like Anne Hathaway if Les Miserables was real fucking life.
I do worry a little bit that we're being gaslit again. This is the family statement, which claims we have many migrants who make a deeply valuable contribution to our country. We depend on them to make our country.
Did you say this is the So the fucking family of the dude who's again, they attempted this fucking migrant attempted to murder, nearly succeeded in doing, are still capping for the ideas like, hey, it's not all migrants. Yeah, I get it, but you don't ever use that. Let's be real. When feminists go around just claiming that all dudes are rapists, and some guy pops up with like, whoa, not all men. They're always out there. Yeah, well, the men that don't do anything still enable the ones that do. Fine, I'm going to turn your feminist logic around on you. Sure, maybe it's not all migrants out there raping, pillaging, and plundering. But the ones that aren't doing anything, the banality of evil, they're still enabling this behavior from the bad ones. So they're just as complicit. If that's going to be your feminist logic about like hating all men because there's a few out there that do rapes, I'm going to do the same with the fucking migrants.
We do not want this terrible tragedy to be used to divide people. Does that sound genuine to you, Sarah, about how the people of Belfast are feeling?
If that statement doesn't sound genuine, it's basically there is a lot of that is being covered up at the moment. I have had many people get in touch with me from the staff of the immigration department, and they was told to go home as their lives could be in danger. Their computers were shut down and all information was covered up about.
Are we actually maybe seeing some fucking whistleblowers? Like, with what's wrong with their face? I already asked the same question, Lesis. But like, even people within immigration are like, hey, there's a cover-up happening here. Like, yeah, the people that you support, that you work for, the people that you have allowed to perpetuate this infestation are doing a cover-up? Color me shocked.
This particular migrant, they don't want people knowing who he is.
We will bring in the superstar.
And you know why. You know why they don't want people knowing who this migrant is. Mob fucking justice. Street justice. When the government won't do anything, when the cops aren't going to do anything because the cops are just dogs of the state, there's going to be some street fucking justice. So of goddamn course that the government is going to just do anything they can to protect this criminal invader that attempted to murder one of the people of their homeland. I'm not surprised.
Our panel, Father Calvin Robinson, Sunil Sharma, Jamie Bryson, and Chris Cork imminently. But first, I want to head to the streets of Belfast, where we are joined by activists and independent broadcasters Sarah White and Craig Houston. Now, Sarah, Belfast police are saying they are bracing for a second night of chaos on the streets. There are reports.
Dude, like, I need y'all to understand how fucked up this is. This is the most fucked up thing to happen in Belfast since Bowling for Soup covered You Give Love a Bad Name live in Belfast. That's how bad this is.
That homes are boarded up, shops are shut, and public transport has been cancelled. What are you seeing, Sarah? Do you expect there to be more tension?
Yeah, definitely,
Hey,
because
vagabond.
the authorities and government are just fueling a fire that is nobody's happy here with what they're hearing. As you can see from behind me, there's
Bro, what's going on with how like glitchy and stuttery it is? How is my non-professional operation operating out of a fucking bedroom in the Midwest do a better job streaming than this broad?
3 cars on this street that are burnt out. There's multiple houses that have been burnt out as well, and the local community have had enough. Our government is importing and allowing the worst of the heathen to come onto our shores, and it quotes that in the Bible as well. And they don't care about us. They don't care about the people of Northern Ireland. They don't care about people in the whole of the United Kingdom. And they're not engineers, doctors, and surgeons. They're butchers and murderers and people who want to rape and pillage. And people have had enough. And they say about
how long before she ends up in jail? How long before she ends up in jail just for using those words?
We're causing a divide. We're not causing a divide. They're causing a divide because they're allowing these people on our streets who haven't got they don't want to assimilate. They don't want to mix with anybody. They just want to take over. And that's what they're here for. We don't need third worlders. You import third worlders, you get third world problems.
Indeed. Craig Houston, what's happening where you are in Belfast?
Well, a lot is the same, and it cut to Sarah there for a second. I thought we were on the same street.
What did he just say? I'm not saying that because I'm surprised. I'm saying that because I can't fucking understand him. Lesis, Fab, anybody else watching there, my UK viewers, I might need you to translate.
I've seen this same picture all over the city since I arrived at 6 a.m. this morning, and speaking to a lot of the locals and getting the same feedback. I keep saying this. I've travelled up and down the length of the United Kingdom and listened to people's concerns.
Yeah, good old Irish accent. I won't lie, man. I'm only picking up like 40% of what he's saying. He's saying that he's been talking to the locals. Like, yeah, dude, the late Bloody Muddy Waters for a 2-banger. Did he just speak in tongues? That was definitely a lot to take in. I actually need to roll this back and try and understand what he's saying.
And speaking to a lot of the locals and getting the same feedback. I keep saying this. I've travelled up and down the length of the United Kingdom and listened to people's concerns, unlike our parliamentarians. And the only
people's concerns on what?
And listen to people's concerns, unlike our parliamentarians.
Oh, the parliamentarians. Okay.
The only thing that separates us is that.
Are there subtitles? Yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. We got subtitles. Good call.
Accents. And these people have just had enough. And I don't think anybody's saying, what they done last night, what potentially could happen again today. Anybody's going to say that's wonderful. But when people lose hope that their parliamentarians are not listening to them, then these things do happen. I was disappointed. I've got my hire card there that I picked up this morning. I don't know how to change the radio, so I unfortunately had to listen to BBC Ulster all day. And
I unfortunately had to listen to the BBC all day is a based as fuck quote. I like this guy. I know I can't understand a goddamn thing he's saying. He might be talking about anally raping my mother right now, but I like this guy. Dude, that's unfortunately I had to listen to BBC all day. Nice. Belfast has both Irish and Scottish accent dialect due to being taken over by the Scots at one point. Interesting. I did not know that.
Some of the stuff, the way that the mainstream are describing it, they're completely forgetting that what started this story, that's conveniently put to the side, and all we hear about is far right, we hear about racism, all that stuff, and nobody in the mainstream's wanting to talk about what actually ignited these things. And I done the exact same 12 months ago in Ballymena, and the people in Ballymena are getting treated in the exact same field. The politicians, the mainstream, won't tell their concerns. And when people have hope in the politicians and they have hope in society, then I've got something.
Hold on. The audio is so bad, even with the subtitles. I need to go back. All right, so I got all this about Ballamania.
Getting treated in the exact
Ballamina.
same field. The politicians, the mainstream, won't tell their concerns. And when people have hope in the politicians and they have hope in society, then I've got something to hold on to. But when that hope disappears, then we end up with nights like last night, and similar things that I was in Glasgow last night myself, and it was not to this anywhere near the degree we're seeing in Belfast, obviously. But you know, there was some things that happened after the protest there, and if we don't have people.
I like these calling protests. I like these like he's doing the thing the media does, but he's inverting it. Like the media always jumps to calling protests riots, right? Like if it is a pro right wing protest, they call it riots. If it's a left wing riot, they call it a protest. So he's doing the same thing. He's like, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, this actually was a riot and good. Like it's justifiable. It should be considered a riot, and it's a justifiable riot. Homeboy out here calling it a protest, based.
Then these things will just happen.
Indeed, and there is no hope. I just want to take you to some video that we've just got in from the Nowhere photographer, who says Belfast is closed, and we're looking.
I don't know, man. This could just be any normal shopping mall because people use Amazon nowadays.
There at the Central City Mall, and certainly all of the shops seem to be shut, no people. And Sarah, at that press conference earlier today, the Northern Ireland Police said that there would be an extra 200 officers on the streets. From the conversations that you're having today, Sarah, are the protesters being put off at all by that?
Definitely not. And also the police here know well that they should do well to sit in their motors. And that's exactly what they do because...
Well, to be fair, it seems that nothing's changed. The police just sit there in their cars when the criminal migrants are out there raping, pillaging, and plundering. So now when the Irish are out there throwing their fucking riots, again, justifiable riots, the police are like, you know what? We're real well versed at sitting in our cars just letting shit happen like we did with the migrants. We'll let it happen this time too. They've had a lot of practice of just sitting in the cars and doing fucking nothing.
They're paid to do a job, but they don't want to put themselves in danger. So they'll sit in their motors, they'll take their paycheck, and they let everybody get on with what they're doing. Because from me speaking to police, from what I can hear, they're all on the side of the community, and they're finding this unacceptable as well. What you've got to remember is there's murals all over Northern Ireland, whether it's from IRA, loyalists, you know, different areas, and that's their history, their culture. There isn't murals up depicting Muhammad. These people don't want these people in their communities, and they've had enough. I think the road that Craig's on, if it's the right road that I'm thinking of, one of the houses that they burnt out was a migrant brothel. They don't want these people in their community.
A migrant brothel? Brother, ew. Who the fuck be going to a migrant brothel? I can't even imagine how a place like that would smell. Dude, the only person I could honestly would get psyched to go to a migrant brothel would be Hamas, Osama bin Laden, Epstein, Dog, Shocker, Fucker, Piker. That's right. Hassan Piker would definitely go to a criminal migrant brothel. Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure we Let's just take a wild guess of what the age of a lot of the girls at that brothel would be. Just, I don't have a fact. I'm not saying it's a fact, but I have a sneaking suspicion that cultures that allow for child marriage of 9-year-olds probably don't really care if it's a 13 or 14-year-old girl working in this migrant brothel.
They're completely they're deranged. They're not going to mix with us. They're not. Why are we getting the worst of the worst? These people are not even accepted into their own communities. They're being sent here because they're scum.
Sarah, I wanted to ask you about the statement that has come from the family of Stephen Ogilvie, the victim, because I do worry a little bit that we're being gaslit again, and that the same thing is happening that happened with Henry Novak's family, where politicians and the police.
All right. Actually drawing comparison to the Novak case. Interesting.
going to hide behind the family statement, but this is the family statement, which claims
I'm not
we
surprised.
have
by
many
this fact.
migrants who make a deeply valuable contribution to our country. We depend on them to make our country work. We do not want this terrible tragedy to be used to.
Why? Why would you depend on them to make your country work? As far as I can tell, like, do people, like, how brainwashed can you get to not rationalize the concept of, well, your country was working just fine before all the migrants, criminal or not. Your country's working just fine before. Why do you miraculously all of a sudden need them now? How does somebody get that fucking brainwashed? It is insane to me.
To divide people. Does that sound genuine to you, Sarah, about how the people of Belfast are feeling?
Absolutely,
that
Miss
statement
Sono.
doesn't
Yes, they were
sound
paid off by the
genuine.
government.
It's basically, there is a lot of that is being covered up at the moment, and I have had many people get in touch with me from the staff of the immigration department, and they was told to go home as their lives could be in danger. Their computers were shut down, and all.
It doesn't matter. Like, oh, go home because the whole city's shutting down. Your life could be in danger. Your life is in danger the moment you step out in the street when you're in a country that has been ran through with these infestations of criminal migrants, with these fucking termites. Your life is in danger regardless whether the city is shut down or not. In fact, it's probably in more danger than when the city is not shut down because these fucking filth can just blend into the crowd. Well, not really blend in, but you know what I mean.
All information was covered up about this particular migrant. They don't want people knowing who
Correct,
he
Leslie.
is, what his background is, and who sponsored him. There's a lot of.
It really doesn't matter. You are like correct, but also doesn't matter. There's going to be people, and frankly, probably a large swath of people that don't understand that. They're gonna think that this is the family's wishes. And they'll downplay. It's like, well, look, even the family understands the importance of immigration. This was just a bad apple. Like, whether they're being obtuse or actually believe it, it's a narrative that's going to get spread. So whether it's a message from the family or their liaison, the police liaison team, is kind of fucking irrelevant. In fact, it's arguably even worse. Much like the Know What family actually expressed how they really felt. Online, online, told everyone their statement was not really theirs. Could be a similar case. Yeah. 100%. 99% of the people are. Yeah, exactly. The UK does need a revolt. 100%.
Questions going on, and they know that they are hiding a lot of evidence here that the community are feeling very strongly about, and they want answers, and all they're doing is adding fuel to the fire. So I don't believe that statement has come from the family. And also, I would like to add that there was a house that I spoke to earlier, and they had trucked migrants out of the house, but the house next door was a family that was.
Look at that car on fire, baby. Look at that. It's like playing a fucking video game on the PlayStation 2. Look at them burning cars, baby.
Out of the house, but the house next door was a family that was foreigners that had come here legally, and they wasn't touched. So it's just illegal migrants that people have got a problem with.
Indeed, and we are looking at some of your extraordinary footage from last night, Sarah White. Thank you so much, Sarah White, Craig Houston, on the streets of Belfast. We will be following you because, of course, we cannot trust the mainstream media to reveal what is really going on as police do brace for this second night of tension. So I want to head to the Superstar panel now. We are joined.
I hope so. Honestly, Fab, I hope so. I was skeptical, but perhaps we're really headed for real civil unrest. You catch my drift? And like, why can't the UK and whatnot be like the Iranians? Dude, when the Iranians rose the fuck up and they were getting killed in droves by their own government, they were fighting back without even having any weapons or whatnot, because the Iranians understood, like, yo, this is actual real fucking oppression. Now, I get it. They were outmanned, outgunned, like I said, dying in droves, begging for U.S. intervention. Point is, they fucking stood up and goddamn did something about it. Why is it that I'm going to give more props to the fucking Iranians than I am the people of England, Great Britain, Ireland? It's sad, dude.
Today by Father Calvin Robinson, host of the Common Sense Crusade on YouTube, Sunil Sharma, host of Rational Voices with Sunil, Chris Cork, who is the independent political commentator behind Corky on YouTube. But first, I want to cross to Jamie Bryson, who is the Northern Irish author and loyalist. And Jamie, you were on one of these protests last night. I was following your footage.
Now that looks like a proper freedom fighter right there, boy. Look at that haircut. Look at that build. Look at that nice, shiny white skin tone. This looks like a proper freedom fighter.
Closely. And
you heard it, Doctor Who. This is Doctor Who gives a fuck, son.
I think it is really important to say it was incredibly peaceful. So not everything in Northern Ireland did turn violent. However, I presume you understand why it did.
Yeah, look, the protest I was on, it was very family orientated. There was women and children who were there to express genuine concerns about the fact that all across the United Kingdom we have communities who are having imposed upon them foreign ideologies and mass illegal immigration, and the result of that is the entire visual outlook and cohesion of those communities are dismantled, are changed. And that is something which nobody ever voted for, ever had the opportunity to vote for. And those who are making...
Yeah, because isn't it the case? I could be wrong. Obviously, being an American, I'm not super up on like how the political system works in the UK and shit. But isn't it the case that you guys don't get to vote for pretty much anything aside from your your representatives, right? Like you and I'm like your main representatives. And then don't they like pick the others? Like you vote for like Keir Starmer or whatnot, and then all like the what are they called? The MPs, I believe they're called MPs, pick everybody else. I'm not entirely sure how it works, and obviously, if I'm wrong, correct me. It's not just the UK though. Men of the West have pretty much been emasculated, but yes, by feminism, modern and ridicule. Still, Brits are definitely not like their ancestors. Different mentality. I agree. I mean, I agree. It is all the West. It is the U.S. as well. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's not the U.S. I don't think the U.S. is as bad off as the U.K. and Ireland and all that. But yeah, we can vote for local council and the overall government. We don't get to vote on the propositions or anything like that. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. That was the clarification I needed.
Political policy. The political elite establishment, the latte drinking liberal elite, as I would call them. In the yoga classes and eating avocado in the mornings. Nobody's being beheaded on their streets. Nobody's being, no children are being groomed in their streets, in their middle class suburbs. It's working class communities all across the United Kingdom who are being made to suffer in respect of this. And, obviously nobody wants to see or condones the scenes that we seen last night. But the difficulty here is you have a lot of young people who are angry, who see public services under pressure, who see their communities being fundamentally changed in ways which they don't like and they don't want, and in ways which fundamentally alters the cohesion and the social values.
And this is what he's talking about, the young people, right? He's talking about the young people who are all upset spaghetti about this. Good, justifiably so. I want to see more young people getting pissed off. I want to see more young people at these riots. But this goes back to that episode Tinfoil Haters we did just this last Tuesday. Don't forget, you've got organizations like the Club of Rome that are sending out fucking pamphlets, that are sending out guidebooks directed towards the youth and how to be child activists for things like being against systemic racism, being all pro Greenpeace, shit like that. Actively moving towards a communist regime. Like everything that we showed in this last week's episode of Tinfoil Haters was verifiably 100% true. Men of the West are too busy complaining about superhero slot and video games actually do anything about. The way I see it, we have a whole lot of riots and stuff going on, so I don't know that that's correct.
And traditions which has held those communities together for generations. And all of that is being done against their will by political elites who are imposing a policy of mass illegal immigration. And when people in the communities who actually have to deal with those issues, who have to live beside the migrant who...
And the thing is bringing the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland together, something that's true. That's true, bro. This is like, let's not undersell this. You remember a few years ago when South Korea and North Korea agreed to be the Olympic Games together, and they had members, I believe, of the North Korean government cross over the demilitarized zone open armed into, this is during Trump's first administration, into South Korea for like an act of diplomacy. This is the same thing. This is the same thing. It'd be a shame if someone ruined some tea and changed everything. I'm from the UK. There's some serious cover-ups going on. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's the cover-ups. Now the media controls. The media controls as of tonight. Independent journalists being arrested and charged. It's pretty dark and tyrannical over here. That's what I was saying at the beginning when they had those on-the-ground independent journalists being interviewed. Like, how long till they're in jail? How long till they're in jail?
Hotels who have to live on the streets where people are being attempting to behead people. They're called racists. They're called bigots. They're dismissed, and that makes people very angry.
I would rather be a like living racist and bigot than a dead progressive. I'm sorry. I would rather be a happy living bigot than a dead fucking anti-racist, a dead progressive or whatnot. Why is racism a bad thing? By the way, racism doesn't really exist. Like, racism doesn't really exist. When someone's like, "Oh, I hate black people," speaking from the American perspective, they're not really talking about all black people all over the world, right? They're talking about American blacks, because you can't sit here and try and pretend that the culture in American blacks is the same culture as, I don't know, what's it like? I guess Egypt isn't really black, but Egypt's a pretty bad fucking put that on a shirt for real. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe there aren't any good black cultures. That's neither here nor there. My point is, like, they're against cultures, not against race. No one's upset, like, because there's a shit ton of fucking, like, the Scandinavians, right? The Vikings back in the old Viking days. Whole lot of raping, pillaging, and raping, pillaging, and plundering. I can fucking talk. I do this professionally. People weren't like, "Oh, I hate white people." People were like, "Oh, I don't like these Vikings coming in and raping, pillaging, and plundering." Like, that's what it really was. People hate cultures, not actual race. One was snatched up tonight for refusing to remove his face covering. He's being detained and being offered to be released on bail for £1,000 until he's fast-tracked into court. I hate my people culture. Yeah. I'll have my ass. And that'll be at the weekend. Like, as in tomorrow, or as in he'll have to stay locked up all weekend and it'll be on Monday. Yo, shout out CFH. How you doing, homie? Hey, everyone equally. And that's the proper way to do it.
And they feel as if they've no outlet, so they ultimately end up engaging in this ultimately counterproductive activity, but they feel as if they've nowhere else to go. So the only way this is, and look, all of the condemnation in the world, all of the sanctimonious preaching from the do-gooders is not going to make...
Dude, sanctimonious is such a good word. Sanctimonious is such a good word.
The slightest bit of difference to the young people who feel so angry, disenfranchised from the political process. So the only way this is going to change is when people engage in understanding, accepting there's a problem, and actually dealing with it, which can consistently governments again and again.
Apparently they're getting a judge in for Saturday, so he doesn't pay the $1,000 by Saturday. He'll stay locked up until Saturday when a court hearing will take place. And that court hearing is, of course, they're going to take. They're not going to take his side. The courts are, of course, controlled by the larger apparatuses in the government. The mainstream media controlled the same way. They're not going to be leaning on this dude. They're not going to go easy on him, whatnot. They're going to treat him as if he was one of the motherfuckers that was cutting people's heads off. I love that word. I use it often when I'm arguing in comment sections of YouTube. Based. Hey, stupid people, get your sandwich signs. Write the John McClane line. We're ready. Make sure to break out your bacon posts, bros.
And have failed to do.
100%. And the thing is, Father Calvin, as the Northern Irish have proven time and again in their history, they will not just stay at home.
Yeah, dude. The Irish ain't going to stay at home. They got to go to the pub, bro. The Irish got to go to the pub. What are we doing?
The Irish out there and they fight.
Hey, catch you later, Free Expression
and they
Warrior.
show that they care. I hope that they don't stop, because the moment they stop, they'll be crushed. This is what happens every time there's any kind of...
Yo, what is up with race swap John C. Reilly over here? Bro, what even is this guy? Like, to be fair, I dig his decor. I see a Templar helmet. I see a cross. I see some fucking flags. Like, I dig his decor. But what is this guy? He looks like a fucking creative character in like a Boogie Nights game.
Rebellion like this, the people are motivated and they are making their voices heard. But the moment they go silent, the government will clamp down upon them and make them the problem rather than the issue they're reacting to. I find this whole thing disgusting. The fact that young girls are being raped across Britain, people are being beheaded across the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and they're blaming us for being angry about it. We're angry because this is our country, for goodness sake. And we're
Bro, like, let's scale this down. Let's scale this down, right? You're driving in a car. You go through the green light. Someone runs a red light and T-bones you. You get out of the car and you're fucking pissed. And then the police lock you up for being mad at the person that T-boned you. That's what's happening. Yeah, dude, he's a straight up cleric. I like that. He is straight up cleric. He's the default red card in Skyrim. He is Calvin Robinson. Hold on. He was canceled from becoming a priest or whatever in the UK. So he was forced to move to the US. I think he now lives in Florida. Oh, interesting. Race and gender swap Judge Judy. There's been double stabbing near me tonight in Birmingham, but it's being covered up and swept under the carpet. Under the carpet is a weird way to say that. It's under the rug. But anyway, this is yet another incident that's happened. Yeah, the every level, every institutional power, from the enforcement arm all the way up to the people that write the laws, are doing everything they can to cover this up, because it is in their best interest from the orders they take from the powers that be up top, the World Economic Forum, the Illuminati, whatever you want to fucking call them, to allow this racial divide and force this cultural shift. Like, yes, this is a systemic top-down problem. You hear people talk, systemic racism. Yes, systemic racism is 100% real, and it's against white people and white nations. Absolutely.
We're seeing people being abused and murdered, and there's nothing that we can do. And our elite, quite as Jamie pointed out, will sit there, sipping their champagne and eating their avocado on toast, thinking that everything's fine and dandy. Everything is not fine and dandy. People should be angry, and they can call me a far right agitator. I don't care. We need to be agitated. We need to be rageful. We need that wrath, that vengeance. We need that justice. We need to have righteous indignation.
I like the words he's saying, son.
We just carry on and we permit what is happening to us, which is the abuse of our land, the abuse of our people, and the eradication of us as a people. It's time to stand up, for goodness sake. Otherwise,
and that is what it is. It is an eradication. This is a systematic eradication. Like, with all these countries being below birth rate, Japan, South Korea, the US, the UK, I assume Northern Ireland as well, being below replacement rate, and all these people being shipped in and whatnot. Like, I know in the US, they're saying that by, I think, 2070, it will no longer be a white majority. I'm sure that is not just the US. I have no doubt. It might even be worse. In fact, I'm sure it's worse in the UK. The radicalism continues. The radicalism continues until morale improves. Last time I heard from him, he had short hair and now he's growing it back, I see. This was all planned. This is 1,000% in the works for years. Yeah, Australia as well, by the way. Australia as well.
Our country will be gone. Either we get them out or we are gone. It's one or the other. And I think, actually, at this point, I think the elite need to go too. We need to remove these.
Whoa. The elite need to go first. Not two. First. Look, if the elite go, then there's no one left to control the apparatus that allows these criminal migrants to be out there beheading motherfuckers. You get rid of the elite first. The migrants are just the grunts, bro. The migrants, they just the fucking mobs. You get rid of the elites first, and then you got free roam to just take care of all the grunts. Much worse than the UK. There's areas near me that are like communities for certain cultures, not a single white person in sight. There's a lot of places in the US that's like that as well. They just want stupid people from shitty countries so certain people can gain even more money and power. Absolutely suck them a dick. Australia is just 3 or 4 years behind the UK. New Zealand, I don't really hear from, but I'm sure they're not far behind either. I think you're 1,000% correct. This shit is seriously getting ridiculous, and people aren't doing anything about it. We'll be a minority by 2045 in the UK. Hey, I dig the profile picture there. White people are only 14 to 16% of the world's population. By 2045, the United States will be the minority. Yes, I don't know if the white population will be the full minority by 2045. I read 2070, but even if it is 2045, either way, it's coming up. It's close. Either way you look at it, it's close.
Newmans and these liberal elites from all positions of power and influence. Sir Keir Starmer, all of these people that sit there deflecting away from the terrorists, from the barbarians, deflecting away from them towards us. They all need to go. I don't care if they're imprisoned or deported. They are part of the problem. They're letting them in.
Deport. Deport them. I don't care if they were born here. Like, let's say Keir Starmer's a perfect example. It would be fucking hilarious to deport Keir Starmer. Like, you are so worthless. You mean so little to the British people. We don't even want you in the country anymore. We're not going to waste the resources. We're not going to waste the tax dollars keeping you in jail. Exile. Exile used to be an actual proper punishment. Back in the kings and queens days and shit. Back in the fucking Jesus times. We used to exile motherfuckers. Yes, there should be nothing wrong with, I don't give a fuck if you were born here. Bring back exile. You're not allowed. Yeah, I said it, and then this kid, bring back exile. Dude, right after I said it, this popped up. Bring back exile.
They're letting the barbarians in and laughing at us and blaming us for getting angry. It's a disgrace.
And Chris Cork, great to have you on Outspoken, by the way. I love your work. And
Thank
what
you very
they
much.
want to do, though, is shut down people like you. I mean, that is literally what the police are talking about today, what the off-communists are talking about today, rather than look at the root cause of the problem, right? Which,
don't y'all think is wild? Don't y'all think this is wild that pigs are defending Muslims? I mean, there's a certain level of irony in the fact that pigs are protecting Muslims.
is this mass immigration, these barbarians, as Calvin calls them, that are causing savagery on our streets. It's about information control.
Yeah.
It's so
And-
chilling.
It is, and I personally think that's why he doesn't like X, because people like myself and other
I'm
content
not
creators
surprised by this
we can
statistic.
speak freely, we can share information. Like you were saying in the beginning, half of them videos you would never have seen on the news, Sly News, like you said. GB News, I think, are the only ones what seem to like put a few things out, but the power.
Are you telling me that multiculturalism was actually the weapon to destroy white countries? That's exactly what I'm telling you. I know, who'd have thunk, right? Here's the dealio, guys. Multiculturalism is actually pretty based when done right. And by done right, I mean when we colonize them and take the best parts of their fucking culture, like their food and their resources. That's good multiculturalism. When we come in and be like, oh, you guys just invented this thing called an empanada. All right, cool. We're going to take that. Also, all your oil. I'm fine with that sort of multiculturalism. It's the rest of it that I don't like.
Of the phone in people's pockets, like Sir out there, then with the gentleman,
Pigs in a blanket.
they're
That's
right there.
great.
They can
Muslim
film it.
cop,
They
I
can
like
show
that.
people, and they're frightened by this. And I agree with them as well. People have lost hope. What do you expect these people to do? What do they expect these people to do? Look at the amount of events we have seen in this country in the past however many years. Manchester Arena, the Southport incident, you've got this, you've got Wayne Broadhurst. And the thing with these lot in these debates, what they have, the PMQs, what they don't even mention the names half the time. So what are they expecting people to do? And they clamp down straight away. I call it every time. As soon as an incident, I call it straight away. Tomorrow's headlines will be far right, racist, thugs.
Yep.
Tommy.
Hold on. Let's test this right now. Let's go to Google. Let's just type in Belfast. Just Belfast. All right. Let's go to news. Elon Musk under fire for stoking anti-immigrant riots in Belfast. Knights of Violent grips Belfast after stabbing attack. All right, that one's actually relatively neutral. Police blast water cannons at protests amid unrest over stabbing in Belfast. House started fire while Belfast streets largely quiet after small protests. Police were warned for months about addresses targeted in Belfast riots. What we know about the Belfast attack and disorder. I wish I could say this is not my Belfast, but mob rule has never been. No. Wait, what? All right. Let's see. I wish I could say this is not my Belfast, but mob rule has never been far away. The people under attack today are not the same as those driven from their homes in Northern Ireland's past, says Michael Medee. Forces behind the violence bear an unsettling resemblance. The most chilling thing about Belfast this week is not the fires, it's how familiar everything felt. It began timidly by Belfast standards. Barricades were up, roads blocked, bins burned, swirls of smoke dripped and faded, cloaking homes in fine gray mist. I like how that's timid by Belfast standards. The Irish are a different breed, dude. All of this was seen from a bird's eye view, witnessed through the lens that could zoom in on every street corner from the city from thousands of feet in the air. It struck me this is how the British security forces would have viewed my parents and grandparents during their troubles. From the helicopters that drone above their homes in West Belfast, surveilling them through cameras, much like how I was looking through now. I wish I could say this is not the Belfast I grew up in, but loyalist mobs rampaging through the city is nothing new to us. It's almost part and parcel, except for the few years in the 2010s and 2020s. There's usually some kind of grievance that's led to the whole section of the city shutting down. Instead of contested parade routes or flag disputes, or even the outrageous incidents in 2001 where loyalists violently blockaded a girls' primary school. Dude got a whole lot to say, goddamn. Of course, the perpetrators had their phones out recording. Of course, the videos found their way on the WhatsApp chats. I was struck by how much joy they took in what they were doing. Their ecstatic voices chanting foreigners out and kill all Muslims. It was as though they'd been waiting for this to happen and they were ready for it. Get this fucking loser off the computer, bro. I watched the Sky News live stream for Belfast for about 2 hours. The footage was being shot from a helicopter that rode back and forth. Like this fucking Muslim apology. Muslim apologetics, bro. It is sickening. That same Muslim that you're being an apologist for would not hesitate to cut your fucking head off and rape your fucking children. Would not.
Robinson's fault. It's all these other people's fault. It's these people, like Sadiq Khan says it as well. It's always disinformation. They're creating this, and it's like, no, we're not. We can see it now. We can actually see it because we've got the power of the internet. The X and other social media platforms, they're brilliant for content creators who actually want to put out the truth. And you can call me whatever you want. If you want to call me a racist, far right, thug, whatever you want to do, I'll take it on. I'm gonna speak up.
Belfast Patriots are more organized than English Patriots. They still have a paramilitary group that's not even been activated yet. Why ain't it been activated yet? Activate that shit. I want to see it. If you got a paramilitary group, send the motherfuckers out there. Dude, you guys treat it like the Space Marines in 40K go out there and fucking for the Empire. Bring it into the infidels.
For these people, because I do not want to be waking up in the morning and seeing some guy nearly lose his head. I can't do it. I can't do it, especially when you've got children. You know, it's our future. And
like, they're going to sit there and call this guy a racist when he just was like a fucking failed stand-up comedian. Like, this is the sort of dude that on a Tuesday night, you want to make plans for your girl, and you're like, all right, let's go to the comedy club. It's $5 Tuesday. And this is the dude up there doing the same set he's been doing for 5 fucking years. But again, they're going to like call him just racist, far right, Nazi.
I haven't lost hope yet, so I'm gonna carry on doing what I'm doing, and I certainly will not be listening to the likes of Keir Starmer.
Absolutely. Come for us. Come for us. You know, we can broadcast overseas if we have to.
Funny, because come for us is what the Muslim grooming gangs tell the 9-year-old little girl they've cornered.
I've discussed that with lots of other big names in the independent media, people like Maya Tusi and Andre Walker. If that's what we have to do to report the truth, then we will do it. Of course, we don't want to have to do that, but if it is necessary, then we will. If they really do go down this path of...
What? Where was the lie? What do you mean, bro? First of all, that was funny as fuck. Second, where was the lie? When the paramilitary groups kick off, it will automatically turn to a full war. I don't see a downside. That is what is needed. Overthrow these elitist fucking I don't want to say pigs because pigs are cops. It's obviously worse. Like, overthrow these elitist celestial fucking dragons that have allowed this to happen.
Information control, then we will. But I think you make such a good point, because everyone should know the name of Wayne Broadhurst. Everyone should know the name of Rhiannon White, but people don't. And everyone should now know the name of Stephen Ogilvie too, because what this poor man has gone through, yes, he is alive, but he has lost his eye. It's just Actually,
The victim of the migrant attack in Belfast has been named as Stephen Ogilvy. He is still in intensive care with serious injuries. A very vulnerable man who should never have suffered like this. Again, it doesn't matter that people will downplay it because he lived. Anytime someone survives an attack like this, doesn't die, it's immediately diminished because people inherently think that death is worse. Honestly, nah. Dude is in critical condition, lost his eye. By the way, great. Now, not only, and this is going to sound real fucking harsh, but it is objectively true, so understand what I mean when I say this. Not only do you have all this infestation of these criminal migrants draining your resources, draining your guys' tax dollars, but now this guy's going to have to as well. And it's unfortunate, but he's going to be on disability. He's going to be getting resources from the government. The healthcare system is going to be paying for his shit. He might be drawing disability for the fact that he's blind in one eye the rest of his life now. So he is now going to be taking up extra resources that he wouldn't have been taking up if these filthy migrants hadn't been allowed in there to begin with, that are also taking up those same resources. And it's not his fault, not blaming him for it, but that is just an objective truth. If you can believe this, Jerry Adams was on X asking people not to be racist, and he's the public face of SF. Unreal SF. Why is that? Doesn't ring a bell. San Francisco? Hold on. Jerry Adams. Irish Republican retired politician. Oh, Sinn Féin. Okay. I'm an American. I don't know what that is. I'm going to be real. I'm an American. Deadass looks like my coworker. Well said, Leon. I was just typing that too. Yeah, it is the fucking truth. It is an unfortunate truth. Stephen was already disabled from gang warfare, and now he's even more disabled. God, what a fucking life, bro.
Quite unbelievable. Sunil Sharma, what do you make of the fact that the mainstream, because you're obviously in this independent media space too, what do you make of the fact that the mainstream are just so desperate to turn this into a story about Tommy Robinson and Elon Musk? But first, before we get back to the show, a quick word about something I use.
Not only do I always let sponsor ads play out, because if we're going to steal their content, it is good for them to actually be sponsored. If we're going to steal their content, we need to listen to their sponsorship ads. It's common courtesy. But also, as somebody who actively does use Surfshark is my VPN. I'm letting this play out either way.
Genuinely every day.
Oh, look at them. That is some British. I didn't notice when his head was smaller. That is some British ass teeth, son. Is homeboy related to Disparu? Goddamn.
Hey, Surfshark. Most people browse the internet, shop online, check emails, or jump onto public Wi-Fi without thinking twice. It feels routine, right? But what you don't always see is what's happening in the background. Every click, search, and
it's pronounced Sinn Féin, and it's an Irish political party with a lot of history. Unfortunately, like everyone else, they betrayed the Irish people. They are DEI diversity driven. Gotcha. Okay. Not surprised in the slightest. Thank you for clearing that up. Also probably good purchase from the silly Euros who desperately need a VPN. Yeah. If you're European and you're not using a VPN, and Abe, my teeth are bad as well. I look, my teeth are bad as well. This was why I can call out. Anyway, if you're European and don't have a VPN, I don't even know what to tell you. You desperately need to get a VPN. Dan Wooten is actually from New Zealand. Okay, thank you.
Website visit leaves a digital footprint. Advertisers can track your activity. Hackers can take advantage of unsecured networks, and your personal information can end up far more exposed than you realize. That's why I use Surfshark. It helps make my online activity much harder.
Actively voting ain't good enough at this point. Actively voting is not good enough because they control the votes. They can control, they can alter, they can edit, they can rig, they can make the outcomes they want to make. Voting, the British people have been fed up with this for at least as long as I can remember since the first Trump administration. Because there's a bunch of bad shit going down in the pre-Boris Johnson, during Boris Johnson, right after, during that entire era, Trump won plus Boris Johnson. There was bad criminal migrant shit going down there as well. DEI infestations. The British people have been fighting against this for a decade at least at this point, and nothing has changed. And nothing's changed because despite the overwhelming sentiment, at least what seems to be overwhelming sentiment, that the Brits don't like this, for somehow they keep losing. They keep losing the vote. Like, I don't believe that the right wing losing the vote in the UK as often as they have been, despite the public sentiment, is natural. There's definitely something fucky going on. And yes, they are trying to make VPNs illegal in the UK. Western world is not angry enough. Time for voting has passed. Only time to take our countries back by force. The only language they know. Correct. I 1000% endorse that.
By encrypting my connection, hiding my IP
In the
address,
presidential
and adding
elections
a
in
layer
Russia,
of
that Putin
privacy
keeps winning.
whenever
Exactly.
I'm
It is
browsing.
no different than
Whether
Russia.
I'm working from home, traveling, or using Wi-Fi in a hotel or an airport, I'd rather know my data is protected than just hope for the best. And
Stock is
Surfshark
from
is
the Sun
more
News.
than
There are a
just
lot
a
more
VPN.
hardline
It protects your
nationalists that
connection,
don't
your
get
devices,
airtime.
and your personal
Yeah, that's also
information
true.
in one place. Its ad blocker helps cut out intrusive ads,
gotcha.
trackers, malware, and phishing links, so your browsing feels cleaner and safer. That matters whether you're reading the news, shopping online, or just trying to avoid the endless creep of being monitored across the internet. What I also like is that it's simple to use.
Brexit, like, now my memory's fuzzy on this because this was many, many years ago. But if I recall, the British populace overwhelmingly voted for Brexit the first time, and yet it never fucking happened. Like, didn't Brexit? It was overwhelmingly successful in terms of the people's wishes and wants and voting numbers every time, yet never happened. Like, because they have the power to fudge the numbers.
Account covers unlimited devices, so you're not just protecting one laptop or phone, you can secure the whole household. So if you want an easy way to protect all aspects of your online life, go to surfshark.com/outspoken or use the code outspoken at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN plus a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's surfshark.com/outspoken using the code outspoken for 4 extra months. But now back to the show.
Democracy basically means government by the people, but the people are retarded. Yeah, it was close, not overwhelmingly. I thought the first one was overwhelmingly. I could be wrong. I thought the first Brexit was overwhelming, but maybe I'm just getting this. It's not my country, and this was like 10 years ago, so I'm twisting history. Almost 50-50. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I agree with the other panelists. It's a disgrace. And the big thing that I'm really sad about when it comes to mainstream media, we saw a few years ago when BLM had these riots, when BLM were tearing up parts of London, parts of the UK, and we were told, broadcasters on TV were talking about, why are they doing this? Why do people feel this way, that they're reacting the way that they are? But those same people are
considering the sorry ass state of the UK. I think Brexit was likely a mistake. Well, no, Brexit never actually happened. Unless I'm misunderstanding, Brexit never actually happened. Even though it was voted for, they never committed to it. Fab, Lessis, one of you guys cleared me up, but Brexit never, even though it was voted for by the people, never actually went through. 60-40 minus cheating and biased media. I would deport this Indian guy. I would too, by the way. Like let's say hypothetically, he's one of the good ones, right? Let's say hypothetically he's one of the good ones. Doesn't matter. Too much shit's happened already. All y'all out. All of y'all out. Complete moratorium. Brexit happened. They left the U. Okay, gotcha. It never really happened because the elites kept kicking it down the can. Brexit is power to the people. Technically, we're out, but we're still paying for all the shit. It's like we're out, but we're not. Okay. Gotcha. I was under the impression that you guys weren't even out, and that would explain why. So okay. But yeah, the point is, I agree. Like, this guy might have come here completely legally, actually conformed to the cultural values. Doesn't matter. Some bad apples, a lot of bad apples, flooded up for everybody.
Refusing to ask the question now of why are people doing it in Belfast? Why are people doing it in Glasgow? There is no, they're not prepared to think of any rationale, any thinking of what.
The Prime Minister at the time, Theresa May, kept delaying it and tried to soften it to bill after bill after bill. Theresa the appeaser. The government never took us out of the EU policy, so Brexit in name only. Gotcha. I appreciate all the UK folk coming in here, because that was my understanding, was that you guys never left. The fact that you left in name only basically becomes a distinction without a difference. So
why people are so frustrated and so angry they're taking to the streets the way that they are. But they were prepared to do that when it was BLM 4 years ago, 5 years ago, in the middle of COVID, in the middle of a pandemic. Then they were more than happy to ask the question, why do people feel like this? But when there's such clear clarity on why people feel like this, and then refusing to ask that question or remotely even think about it, instead the focus becomes on Nigel Farage and Tommy Robinson and whoever else. It's really disgraceful, and it kind of starts to show the fact that mainstream media does not, if there was any doubt anyway, it does not represent the majority of this country. It doesn't, I don't think I think it represents maybe a bit of London, a bit of outside of London, home counties maybe, but that's about it. It doesn't represent anyone else in the United Kingdom. And it's shameful, it's appalling, it's really disturbing, the lack of coverage. Lots of the stuff has got, and the only coverage they're going to talk about is the riots. And it's the same thing that happened at Southport. I'm sure it'll happen again. And
Theresa May pissed me off. She was based before becoming prime minister, even called out the PDF rings in London, was a cuck in power. No different than Trump. No different than Trump. Trump has been such a fucking pussy this term. An absolute pussy this term. Yeah, I mean, Theresa May sounds to me, the way you're describing her sounds just like Trump this term. Not just a few bad apples, an awful lot of suspicious dark apples. Yeah, exactly. Like, when I go to the grocery store and buy apples, which I mean, I don't because I'm allergic to apples, but that's neither here nor there. If I were, I would check those apples. And if they've got like dark splotches and stuff, I don't buy them. Downgrade from province to territory, be a faction that can't even, what? Oh, keep a carrier. Literally, God damn it, StreamYard sucks. Scroll properly. Literally, no minorities show up to the protest either. Yeah, it's all white people. It's all white people. If Rupert Lowe had been prime minister, I can bet he would have taken us out for sure. Yep. I mean, look, I hope, because and Rupert Lowe is getting a lot of support and whatnot. But that being said, who's to say that he won't also be completely cut once he's actually in office? I don't trust at this point. I don't. Aim high, vote low, restore Britain. Based. Yeah, it's all whites at these fucking pro-Islamic protests. I think that's a very valid fear. I think that's an absolutely justifiable fear. The U.S. takes over UK. Do we get reservations to live on? Well, yeah, but first we gotta clear the dirty brown people out first. He feels like Farage 2.0. And like, he says more hardline shit than Farage, but talk is cheap. Like, talk is cheap. I want to see action.
I do agree with the other panelists that the key is not to stop. Of course, we don't want to see violence on the streets, but I think there needs to be a continuation on.
I do want to see violence on the streets. I want to see violence on the streets in the UK. I want to see them in Ireland. I want to see them here in America. I want to see them in Australia. In every single Western first world country, I want to see violence on the streets. So send a fucking message. Belfast Patriots are careful about people live streaming them, so footage is limited. That makes sense. It's unfortunate, but it makes sense.
To this process, because this can't carry on regardless of who it comes into next, whether the next leader, or I'm guessing it'll be the next leader of the Labour Party. This cannot carry on, and I hope the protests continue, and I hope people start to really ask the question of why people feel the way they do. And as soon as they ask that question, the answer will be right there in front of them. But I'm sure that they won't, because I think it's just too far gone at the moment for them.
And Stephen Ogilvie probably wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for Northern Irish heroes. So it is worth taking a look at what happened 2 nights ago, because
that Darn Otaku, I've lived on the reservation as well. As a Redskin who lived on one before leaving, it's literally a depressing place to be. It's a place you want to. Yeah. Living on the res sucked, by the way. I talk about it with I romanticize it when I talk about it, but that Darn Otaku is correct. Living on the res fucking sucks. There was I blame the res for why I drink, smoke, and gamble so much, because there was nothing else to fucking do. There was nothing to do but go to the pool hall, drink, smoke, and gamble. I was 17, by the way. They just didn't care. I don't believe that Leon Rupert Lowe is one of the few I can trust. He's trusted his constituency and has done good things. He can even up his usual bonus. He even gave up his usual bonus, and that's a good start. I do like that. Giving up his usual bonus, that's a good sign. The shit is so easy if you know history. Correct. Any negatives?
Was quite something, and it was only by chance that this amazing man called Matt McKiernan arrived on the scene of horror on what the Times reports is normally a sleepy suburban street in North Belfast. Under the streetlights, a man writhed, we now know that to be Stephen Ogilvy, on the ground, while an attacker straddled him, holding a kitchen knife, ready to strike his already bloodied face again. And in that split second, McKiernan decided to intervene.
Exactly. The concession line to get your benefits is half as long as the liquor line on the reservation. That's, dude, like, every single street corner got some like just hole in the wall smoke shop with like roll your own tobacco kind of places. It is quite fucking depressing. Rupert Lowe isn't just any MP. He's also a businessman, a farmer. Farmers are pretty much being done in by the UK establishment. They're being done in by here in the UK as well. Like and here in the US as well, I mean. And that's been going on for 80 years. Like independent farmers are pretty much all gone, replaced by massive industrial co-ops. They call farmers, but they're farmers in name only. So yeah, that's happening in the US as well. Takes a panel of 5 people to never talk about the real problem. Time to ban kitchens, I guess.
In his hands was a hurl. Now that is the wooden stick used to play hurling, the popular Gaelic sport. And McKiernan told the Daily Mail he really thought someone was going to lose
Stanley
their
knife,
life.
kitchen
So
knife.
instinct took over, and he ran over and smashed the guy over the head with the hurling stick. He explained what happened during an incredible space on Elon Musk's X. Let's listen. Okay, half of you watching this are not subscribed to Dan Wootton Outspoken, and the best.
And you know what? I don't know. Look, we got 92 people watching live right now, just on YouTube alone, not including other platforms. There's like 203 people watching live across all platforms. For anyone that's not subbed or following or anything, make sure you do so.
Best way
He is
you can
correct.
support
I mean,
what
to
we
me.
do is by hitting that subscribe button. It is completely free, and turn on the notification bell to be alerted to our new episodes.
With my friend, we were actually just calling up to the shop, to be fair. So we drove. My friend says, "You'll take this left. It's just a shortcut, right?" And it was, so it was a right then. It was lefty sitting beside me here. And it was actually him. When we were driving past, there was a car in the middle of the road. We were like, what the fuck? So we actually thought we were about to get done, like a job was about to happen to us. So we stopped, and he was like, "You'll go round that car." So as we were going round, he looked out the window and seen the guy on top of him. So instantly he was out the door, ran over, tried to break it up. We just thought it was a scuffle on that. Then he's noticed the guy with a knife. So when he seen the knife, he run back to the car shouting, "Get something, he has a knife, he has a knife." So I was like, right, sweet. So even
So I was like, right, sweet. What the hell? Thought it was a scuffle on that.
He's noticed the guy with a knife. So when he seen the knife, he run back to the car shouting, "Get something, he has a knife, he has a knife." So I was like, right, sweet. So even I opened the boot, he went around, obviously lifted the.
So I opened the boot, he went around. What does that mean? What does this fucking slang mean? I opened the boot. Can somebody translate that? I have no idea what he opened the boot means. Ah, the trunk. Okay, the trunk. Appreciate you, Reese. I think it's the trunk. Okay. Boot is trunk. Sorry, guys. I'm not up on my British slang. Well, yeah, I assume we got a trunk of a car. That means he opened his trunk. He popped his trunk. I'm glad all y'all came in to. You didn't know this, Paul. You just see everybody else saying it. And now you're all like, you just want to get a fucking follower, not a leader, okay?
Lifted the butt, but he couldn't find it. So when I went down, I've knew straight away where it was. You know, it's mine. So I knew where I put it. I've lifted it. I've run in, smashed that guy. But instantly, he was straight over. So because he knows, he was straight. Had to try to angle that because this guy was tight around this guy who's getting attacked, bro. So a lot of people have left out what, so you call my mate Dre, what he actually done, but it was mainly him that sort of spotted it, ran over.
Also, as much as I understand your skepticism with politicians, Rupert Lowe is far more trustworthy than Snake in the Grass, Nigel Farage, who panders to the minorities. I mean, and I'm going off my views of Trump here. Trump said a lot of real base shit. And to be fair, he's done some good stuff in office in this term, but it has been far lackluster compared to what he promised. Like, I want to have the hope you have for Rupert Lowe, 1,000%. I also think skepticism is also healthy. As much as I read, I'm 100% new that, okay, fair enough. You do read a lot, and you read a lot of British shit. That's fair.
It was just I got the bat first. Do you know what I mean? So it's nothing. It's nothing even heroic or anything like that, man.
I just love people like that. He went on to say people have called us heroes, but to be honest,
Yeah,
I'd like
Trump
to think
pulled it hard.
most people would have got stuck in and helped if they could. But it was left to his partner, Effie O'Reilly, who said that
the
he
shit
was a
he read in the
national
cookbooks.
hero. She said, I couldn't be prouder of Matt. This is my partner and the father of my child who stood in.
Okay. Why'd you say partner? That's real gay. I'm glad you're over here giving praise to your husband. But say husband. Saying partner is gay as fuck.
And hopefully saved a man's life.
Never bring a
last
knife to a
night.
car
And
fight.
indeed, he has saved a man's life. Jamie Bryson, I do think it shows you, doesn't it? The Northern Irish are made of stern stuff.
I always used to laugh. I remember a Billy Connolly sketch, which was actually based on a true story. Whenever they tried to bomb Glasgow airport, and many years ago, and a taxi driver from Glasgow got out of his taxi and got stuck into him. And I think Sky TV or somebody came along after and said, you know, what's your message? And he says, you know,
I get partner to protect the spouse from the crazies on the internet, but at the same time, I get what you mean, Leon. Well, like Leon. Yeah, but at this point, his name's out there. Everyone knows who he is. So, like, yeah, you could say husband though, and it would still protect him if you don't name drop him. Like, I don't know. When I say partner about, you know, my significant other or anything like that, usually that word has been tainted. That word has been ruined because usually it means like, you know, if you've got a partner, that's supposed to be the person that's got your back no matter what. So in all reality, calling your significant other your partner shouldn't be a big deal. It's just another thing that was ruined by the gays. And the UK partner's kind of slang for husband and wife. And it is here in the US as well, but it's been ruined by the gays. It's been ruined by the gays. Definitely Trump could do more, but letting the Dems back in charge is pure madness. I agree with that completely. I'm not one of those accelerationists that say, hey, vote Democrat to punish the Republicans. No, I think that is madness.
Parsley
That's
is
why I
what
think
words to this
that Nick
effect,
Winters
you know,
fed.
don't come to Glasgow, we'll set right about you. And I think that was a powerful message, and I always laughed at that, you know. But listen, fair play to the two guys that went and intervened and helped, because there's no doubt that the victim would be dead now. I mean, it seems clear to me from watching the video that this was an effort to quite literally saw this gentleman's head off. And had the perpetrator been able to be left to his what he was.
So I will say Obama's deportation numbers are skewed. And this isn't to give a pass to Trump because I've just been raging against Trump for a large portion of this. But the reason Obama has higher deportation numbers, anybody that was turned away at the border counted as a deportation under Obama. So they never had to actually make it into the country. If they made it to the border and were caught and turned away before even crossing it, it counted as a deportation. So that's why Obama's deportation numbers are insanely high. And yes, I agree with this. The two-party system will forever hold countries back, 1,000%. Is that the Irish accent? Nope, it's that guy, but I'd rather hear the Scottish accent.
Doing then that might inevitably have been the outcome of that. So these two guys, I don't know them, but you know they've certainly saved a man's life. And as they say, look, you'd want anybody to intervene in that situation, but you know, a traumatic event for the two guys as well, who took a chance themselves getting involved, especially in respect of somebody having a knife. And then also, I think, in fairness, it has to be said, the police officers who came on the scene thereafter. But it goes back to the fundamental problem. You know, in civilized societies, you do not see, or certainly societies do not tolerate people trying to behead each other on the streets. It's not acceptable. It may be acceptable in some foreign ideologies. It may be part of their culture and tradition. It's not part of ours.
How wild is it? How fucking crazy is the world we live in that this dude is going to be called a racist for saying it's not acceptable to cut someone's head off in the middle of the street. And the fucking governments will say that's racist. He just said it's not acceptable in our culture to cut people's heads off on the street. No fucking shit! But the governments will call that racism.
And it shouldn't be tolerated, and it shouldn't be accepted or facilitated or normalized, or in the interests of equality and hyper wokeness and all of these other
Our
labels.
world, yes.
That we have to kind of excuse this type of behavior, or just move along now. Just move along now. Somebody's tried to behead somebody in the street. Let's move along and leave it be. I mean, it's an absurd proposition.
Dan Wilson Outspoken is your no spin, no bias, no censorship outlet.
Yeah, great video. Great video. Go ahead and throw those in the comments for you guys. But I have another one. Now, this one undoubtedly had a lot more information than the one that we're about to go over. But also, by the same token, I do want to watch the Count Dankula coverage of this as well. It came out a day or two before, so it's not going to have as much information to it. But hopefully, it's going to be a bit of a palate cleanser because he at least finds a way to make a lot of this stuff funny. So let's check out what Dankula had to say about this.
So the new camera setup that I was using for quite a little while sucked and I hated it, and it was a lot more problems than it actually was worth. So I'm just going to revert back to the old system. The old way worked just fine. Everyone was all right. The lighting and everything's terrible, but don't worry, I'll fix that in post. Or maybe I'll just fix it later or something, right? But basically,
what up, Dex?
I'm not bothering with it anymore because I'm mad at it. It was all right for a little while, but
Hypno is off today? Let me send him a message because I think he and I are supposed to do a gaming stream tonight. I think he and I were supposed to do a gaming stream tonight. Oh, okay, never mind. He literally messaged me saying, I took off Hypnocast because I'm exhausted, but I'm still doing Lords of the Fallen later. Okay, cool. Never mind. So look, me and Hypno playing Lords of the Fallen tonight on our gaming channel. It's his gaming channel, my gaming channel. That's still happening. So Hypno did take off Hypnocast, but we are still doing our gaming stream for Lords of the Fallen. So
it kept like cutting off in the middle of filming and everything. So it was, it was a nice little holiday, but we're not doing it anymore. We'll just stick to this because it actually works. But anyway, what we know about Belfast attack and disorder. Violence has broken out across Belfast with homes and vehicles set on fire following a knife attack in the north of the city on Monday night. A man is in hospital with serious wounds after the attack, and a 30-year-old man has been charged with attempted murder. Now, some of you have probably...
I love violence is broken out across Belfast. The homes and vehicles set on fire after a knife attack. Notice that they don't say the race of the man. Classic. A 30-year-old man's been charged with attempted murder. They don't say a 30-year-old criminal migrant.
Saw the video doing the rounds online where the guy essentially tried to cut a man's head off on camera. And then a guy just came out with his shinty stick and just went buff right off of his head.
After
Good.
the watch party.
Wonderful. Patriot.
Me and Hypno's game night, co-op game nights are at 11:30 p.m. Central Time. So do the math, whatever that is for 12:30 Eastern. I think it's like 9:30 Pacific. Me and Hypno's game nights are always at 11:30 p.m. Central Time. Watch parties at 9 p.m. Central, and the movie is only 86 minutes. So we'll be done with a watch party and I have like an hour in between or so before me and Hypno, hour and a half in between before me and Hypno do game night.
Patriot. But Hadi Alodid, good Irish name, who is Sudanese, was arrested at the scene and appeared in court on Wednesday. He was remanded into custody. Politicians...
This has been the only outlet that I've seen actually say say where he's from, say his nationality. What's the movie tonight? Demonic Toys. The movie tonight is Demonic Toys. But yeah, this has been the only outlet that I've heard say his nationality.
Police have called for calm after people took to the streets across the city, with some reporting that residents were targeted based on their skin color. We all know that feeling. But anyway, especially when it comes to the police. How did the knife attack unfold? Emergency services were called to the Kinnaird Avenue area in North Belfast on Monday night following a knife attack. Police were at the scene within minutes, and a man believed to be Sudanese was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. Video circulating online shows a number of people, including one wielding a hurling stick. I forgot, some people like to call it a hurl.
Why do all these third worlders have that kind of name? Doesn't matter what side of the globe. So I would like to agree with this, but it's also no different than a lot of us white people being named like Tyler or Bryce. So like I ran into a whole lot of Tylers, ran into a whole lot of Kyles, ran into a whole lot of Skylers, ran into a whole lot of Jack, John, Jims, Joes, Jonathans. Yeah, so to be fair, we do the same thing here. Yeah, John Smith. Yeah, exactly.
Right, speaking of which.
Have I seen Split Second? Split Second. Why does that ring a bell?
Anyway, just do a whole video like that. Black. Sorry, don't clap
No,
that.
I have not.
But
This looks
anyway,
awesome.
where was I? Where was I actually?
Yeah, Kyler is another one.
Confronting the
Kyler.
apparent attacker until the police arrived. A man injured in the attack, aged in his 40s, has been named as Stephen Ogilvie. He is in hospital where his condition is described as serious. Police said Ogilvie had slash wounds to his back and face and eye injuries. The force recovered what they believed to be a kitchen knife at the scene. Now, they've not actually released any like proper details of his injuries, but the one thing that I'm hearing all over the place is
And you know that this is going to be used as propaganda to ban knives. Y'all remember when, look, Idris Elba, great actor. Dude is dumb as fuck. Dude is dumb as fuck. He was all like, yeah, we need to ban knives, or at least invent knives that like can't stab. You know, it's got a flat end at the end, so it can only be used for like cutting chicken. Like, dude, Idris Elba, this is going to be used as propaganda to fucking ban knives.
apparently he has lost an eye. But again, I haven't had that 100% confirmed, so take that with a pinch of salt. PSNI Assistant Chief Constable Ryan Henderson said those who...
I'm not exaggerating when I say this, Skull Monkey. I have dated 4 different Britneys, all spelled 4 different ways. That is not an exaggeration.
Intervened were heroic and had saved the life of the victim. He added, I want to reassure the local community that we are treating this attack with the utmost seriousness.
Yeah, it's ban crime too, exactly.
You want these attacks to stop, deport them all.
Yes, the way they were spelled. So there's Brittanie, Brittany, Brittney, and Brittny. So it was just Brittany. Yeah, those are 4 different spellings of Britneys that I've dated. I didn't even think about the one with the I. Can confirm that. Yeah. Again, future over you, my IRL best friend. He can confirm I've dated 4 different Britneys.
Stop, I don't know if you knew bringing people like that into the country. People who you've got no background checks, no way to check their mental health, no way to check their criminal record, no way to even verify.
You shouldn't be checking the mental health of criminal migrants, because the fact of the matter is, by being third worlders, they're mentally unwell. By being third worlders, they are inherently mentally unwell, because they're coming from places with IQs on average of 68. I'd say 69, but a lot of you guys would say nice, and these foreigners aren't nice.
Who the fuck they even are in the overwhelming majority of cases. Just don't bring them in. It's too much of a risk. Basically, see people that actually process these applications and allow these people into the country, I think they should then be forced to sign on as a sponsor for that person. If that person commits any crimes while they're in the country, that person's held responsible. You should have done your due diligence. You should have done your checks. You should have done your job properly to make sure that this wouldn't happen.
Or better yet, just don't bring anybody in from a foreign fucking country. If hold on, I'll show y'all something real quick. All right, images. Here we go. If the person is coming from anywhere that is here, or here, or a lot of here, definitely here. So basically, if you've got an immigrant and they're coming from here, here, and definitely here, you just don't let them in. That simple. You just don't let them in.
But you didn't, so hey ho. hey ho, you go to jail alongside the person that you let into the country. I think that's what should happen. But however, that would be far too sensible.
Yeah, the entire
What do we know
but
about
also
the victim?
Canada.
Ogilvy is in hospital with serious injuries to his eyes and slash wound injuries to his back and face, police said. He lost his left eye in the attack. Well, there you go. Belfast Magistrates Court heard on Wednesday.
Canada, Australia.
Henderson said that
here's the dealio. Australians, I give a pass to because I do know enough like rootin' tootin' Australians. They're like treat that shit like Texas. I give Australia the maybe pass.
Detectives and specialist officers were supporting the victim and his family at this difficult time. Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Hilary Benn, repeated the police appeal not to share footage of the attack out of respect for the victim and his family, while speaking in the House of Commons on Tuesday. Absolutely no one is making fun of the victim or anything like that. Nobody is going like, ha. Well, I mean, I bet I know a few people who probably are. But the overwhelming majority of people that are seeing that video are just, especially what my thoughts that went through my head when I saw the video, as I just went, that poor fucking man. Holy shit, that poor fucking man. Now, apparently, the guy who ran in with a hurl and smashed the guy across the face, apparently people are doing a crowd fund for him, which is nice and everything. Yeah, the guy's a hero. Well done for going in and saving that guy. You saved the man's life. But can we do one for the victim as well, please? Can we please maybe get...
Is there no GoFundMe for Ogilvy or whatever his fucking name was? Like, again, good that Matt got one because he also got pretty fucked up. Is there really not a GoFundMe for the dude who lost his fucking eye to an invasive species?
One going for the victim, I think. Yeah, I'm not saying recognize the hero and all that, but basically, I've got a feeling that guy's going to need a lot of reconstructive surgery after what happened to him. So, yeah, let's get one going for the victim as well, please. Who is the suspect? The suspect, 30-year-old Hadi Alodid, lives in Duncairn Avenue in North Belfast. Alodid has been charged with attempted murder, possession of an article with a blade or point in a public place, and threats to kill an NHS worker. So obviously they've brought him in to have a look at him and give him his little mental evaluation, and he's actually threatened to kill the psych nurse. Now, if there's something you definitely don't want to do, it's threaten to kill the psych nurse while you're surrounded by police. He appeared at Belfast Magistrates Court via video link from Musgrave at Serious Crime Suite. Alodid was refused bail and was remanded into custody to appear in court again on 8th July. An initial statement...
Wait, okay. He's remanded into custody. I want to make sure I understood this. 8th of July. He was... Okay. I can't believe they actually refused him bail. I will take my incredibly small W's right now. I can't believe they actually refused him bail. Now, it'd be a whole lot better if they had said, all right, public execution, let's wrap this shit up before lunch. We got stuff to fucking do. Or ship him back to, bumfuck Sudan. I'm okay with either one. But you know what? Little wins.
From the PSNI on Tuesday morning said police believe the suspect was Somali, but they later confirmed that he is Sudanese. Somalis, you can tell. The Home Office said the suspect...
If Somalis, you can tell. Like, here's for those of you guys that don't know, find yourself a 4-year-old. Find yourself a 4-year-old and ask them to draw a human face. And if the human face they draw, if you lift that up and you see real humans with that face, they're Somalian. That's how you can tell.
Was on leave to remain in the UK until 2028. He entered the UK in 2023 and was granted refugee status the same year. I don't know what was wrong with the 17 different countries between here and Sudan. Like, I genuinely don't know what was wrong with them, but he just so happened to come all the way up to... Basically, got into Ireland very easy, and then because of the open border at Northern Ireland is the very easy way to get into Northern Ireland, therefore the UK... Sorry, not picking a side, just stating facts. But and that's when he goes, I declare asylum. Right? It's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke. And they were, you can totally stay.
All y'all in the UK are like, fucking hell, Leon, I can't get arrested for saying shit like that where I live.
And basically, because they done that happened to that poor guy, happened to poor Ogilvy. The person who granted that visa should face charges. What checks did they do? Basically, what background? Did they check the criminal record? Did they do a psych evaluation? Did they do any of that shit? They probably fucking didn't. And because of that...
No, they checked the color chart. They checked the color chart and they realized, oh, he's brown, so he's okay.
Person's malfeasance, a guy's now lost his left eye and he's going to be scarred for life and no doubt traumatized as well because of fucking what he went through. The individual claims to have entered the UK via the common travel area, a spokesperson said, which is...
Carol, I'm just now realizing, is that Harry Dresden in your profile picture? Is that Harry Dresden in your profile picture? If so,
that handy little loophole that a lot of them are doing. Chief Constable John Butcher said he understood the suspect made his way from Sudan to Paris. Oh, what was wrong with Paris? Oh, not enough benefits. That's why they come here, by the way. We've got one of the weakest benefit system in the world. Basically, unless you're a native. If you're a native, then they really don't give a fuck. If you're a native, they genuinely don't give a fuck about you. I've had to deal with one of the social security things recently. Holy shit, I would love to talk about it, but I can't.
AI character in the old West.
But basically, you'd all be laughing your heads off if you found out what it was, but I can't chat about it just now. It's hilarious, though. I wish I could, because it's actually fucking really funny. Oh, I am well and truly radicalized. But anyway, flying to Dublin and then traveling by bus to Belfast on 10th February 2023, the date on which he claimed asylum. So basically, yeah, that's what he was doing. Snuck in through Ireland, went across the open border and went, I declare asylum, and there you go. He told supporters at Stormont there is no trace of this suspect on any, reporters at Stormont, there is no trace of this suspect on any of our national security databases, and he was not.
I wonder why. There's no trace of him on any of your national security databases. Because you guys ignore these people intentionally, or B, it was there and it's been covered up. Either one is likely plausible.
Known to the police service of Northern Ireland. What have the police said? Police said they were not seeking anyone else in connection with the investigation. Henderson said the force had been liaising with senior counter-terrorism officials, adding, we have no information to suggest this was terrorist-related. However, we are still at the early stages of our investigation. I was doing some DIY stuff and I had some shit on my hand and I have just rubbed it into my eye. Yay, WD-40 in my eye. That's good. Yeah, that's the public.
That's okay, because it looks like that was your left eye. So really what you're doing is you're showing support for the victim. You put WD-40 in your eye to show support for the victim. Kind of like how everybody on Facebook that one day for George Floyd made their profile pictures just a black square. That's what you did.
Be mindful. That hurts. They asked the public to be mindful of what they share on social media, telling them by sharing footage this could risk causing further trauma to the injured man's loved ones and may impact the ongoing investigation. Well, I mean, the guy did it. There he is on video. Not going to hamper anything. We can see him do it.
Bro, when Elon Musk made this hand gesture, they called him a Nazi. Just saying, when Elon Musk did this, they said he supported Hitler. Why doesn't this bald black fuck support Hitler?
There he is. There he is. There he's even waving. Hello, hello, it's me. I did that shit. Like, it's fine. I'm pretty sure you're going to get a guilty verdict. Henderson said he understood that people would be feeling a range of emotions from fear to angry and appealed for calm. Nah, tough shit. Because whenever this stuff happens and we're calm, it just happens again. It just happens again over and over and over. You're not going to do a thing to change it.
True.
That's why people are out in the streets rioting. Because this happens, everybody gets mad, they have a riot, you arrest half the riot and give them fat, beefy sentences, and then everybody goes home, and then the next week the same thing happens again. The police and the government are doing literally nothing to stop it.
No, that's not true. He says the police and the government are doing nothing to stop it. Wrong. The police and the government are doing everything to enable that it happens again. They are speed running. Like, bro, I want to show you. I want to show y'all something. Hold on. Nope.
You come in and
there we go. All right. So this right here is the Jack and Daxter speed run. They beat this like 30-hour game in under 20 minutes. That's what the government is doing. This right here is what the government is doing to you guys when it comes to making sure that more of these termites rape, pillage, and plunder your people. They are running the 18-minute Jack and Daxter speed run on your populace. And they're doing it intentionally. So when he says that the police in the UK are doing nothing, nah, they are doing something. They're doing everything in their power to destroy you. They hate you.
Do a big trial and everything after the fact, but we would like for attacks like this to not happen in the first place. You're not doing anything. You're literally doing nothing. All of your police force is invested in keeping white people arrested and in jail all the time for having the wrong opinions. Not against, psychotic murderers that you brought here.
That's funny, Dax.
Like, again, of course, people are going to go out and riot. What is it they say? A riot is the language of the unheard. And that's what's happening. You're just telling all these people, shut up, racist, and ignoring all of their problems, ignoring all of their issues. And you're just continually bringing psychopaths, murderers, rapists, and pedophiles into the country. And then you're going, every gentleman, calm, please. No, fuck that. I mean, I'm not supporting condoning any of the violence. I disavow it completely.
And he's saying that because YouTube. Let's be like I bet if you went and hang out with Dank at the bar, nah, he don't disavow that violence. I bet he goes to bed dreaming of it. It brings him sweet little dreams on his inside brain sleepy parts. But he's saying what he gotta say for YouTube.
Its entirety just to keep my lawyer happy, right? But you asked for it. Like, I'm sorry. What did you think was going to happen? People were just going to tolerate having their heads cut off and their children raped forever? Like, did you genuinely, especially in Northern fucking Ireland of all fucking places, did you think everyone was just going to go, it's fine. It's fine. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Calm, everybody, please. No. I think the time's over. And this, again, not encouraging violence. I'm disavowing all violence and stuff like that. But, like...
Wow, Fab, you fucking racist. Do you think all Otzels look the same?
I genuinely, police, what did you think was going to happen when you just allow this shit to happen up and down the country all the fucking time?
That is insane.
I don't get it, but anyway, I'll go on with the article.
In Melbourne.
That's the bit I usually say for the end. See, shot my load too early. How did the disorder break out? What a question. Who knows? Ben said everyone has the right to express their view, but in the end...
But they don't. You don't have the right to express your view. You have got journalists, you got independent journalists covering these riots being basically Gestapo'd just for expressing their view. That is the difference between ICE and people who call ICE Trump's Gestapo and what's going on in the fucking UK and Ireland and whatnot. These people are criminals. They are illegally here. They're being picked up and shipped away. Your people are kidnapping your own independent journalists off the street, throwing them in vans and throwing them in jail. That is Gestapo-ass energy. You do not have the right to hold whatever belief you want in these fucking countries.
We want to support the PSNI. Both claiming making Northern Ireland. The last thing people should be doing is stretching their resources across Northern Ireland to deal with protests that aren't going to help anyone. No, people want to make their voices heard and people want you to know how angry they are and how this shit isn't going to be tolerated anymore. Right? Again, I'm not encouraging... I do encourage peaceful protest. I think people absolutely should go out and peacefully protest. However, people are going to get...
But make sure when you go out to peacefully protest, you're carrying yourself some sort of instrument like this right here, just in case. You're going to a sports game later.
Very angry because tempers are high, right? Emotions are running a little bit tense recently because people are just not being listened to. They're not being listened to at all. On Tuesday evening, crowds began to gather in areas including Antrim, Newton Abbey and Ballymena. About 200 people gathered near Newtonards Road, a unionist area on the edge of Belfast city centre. Bins were set alight in the road and a BBC reporter heard 2 explosions as a bus caught fire. Many of the group were masked, with some waving flares. Henderson said there had been sporadic pockets of disorder in a number of locations across Northern Ireland on Tuesday night. A police car was set on fire in Portadown, with Independent Assembly member Doug Beattie describing the incident, which happened outside his constituency office, as disheartening. Multiple homes were set alight, including a house on Lendrick Street in East Belfast belonging to a man in his 30s who said he had lived there for 10 years. Cars were set alight on the road, which caught fire to my house, but masked men were bashing down doors, he said. The Northern Ireland Fire and Rescue Service says it had a busy evening on Tuesday, managing 256 calls between 7 o'clock and midnight. The fire service attended 62 incidents, with the majority in the Greater Belfast
Not enough. 62 incidents, that's not enough.
area. A pastor who has been helping those in houses targeted in the violence said people were being put out of their homes because they're black. Pastor Jack McKee was at the scene where multiple houses were on fire around the Crumlin Road in North Belfast. He said some members of his church who have been with us for 20 years were getting put out of their homes, had their house attacked, windows smashed, houses beside them burned. Now, that I don't support, right? That part I definitely do not support. However, if the police had just done their job properly, this wouldn't have demonized migrants and demonized black people or Arabs or whatever the hell else have you.
Well, actually, if the government had done their job properly, these motherfuckers wouldn't be in the country to begin with, because their way of life, their religion, their ideology, their moral, if you want to use the word real loosely, foundations are completely incompatible with Western culture. This isn't even just about like if the police done their job right. This is about identifying that there's a complete and utter moral difference in the way these cultures live that are fundamentally incompatible. Like you can call it racism all you want. Well, guess what? If being a fucking white Christian or whatever, because your moral grounding isn't objectively better on account of we don't have 9-year-old child marriages being legal, sure, call me a racist all god day long.
Right? Basically, by allowing these things to happen, you are giving these minorities a very, very bad rap with the everyman. The everyman is now turning his attention to these minorities. And do you want to know the fun fact about this?
Correct.
The police knew. See, this is one thing that I'll put my tinfoil hat on for a wee second here. See how I've told you that when a teenager gets referred to Prevent because he shared a Pepe meme or something like that, and he comes out of those meetings just 100 times more radicalized, or people say, just a little milquetoast opinion like, I don't like immigrants. Ooh, scary. Calm down, Hitler. Right? Just like basic bit shit like that, and then they're getting arrested, they're getting investigated. In some cases, they're getting sent to prison.
I do love being called a racist.
Over it
that
and stuff
true.
like that. Like fucking, they're coming out of those so much more fucking radicalized, and the police know. They know this shit doesn't work, but it actually makes everything worse. Right? So this is, I don't know. This has played with me for a long time. The police know that all of this stuff, all the laws and all the regulations and the hate crime operational guidance handbook and all the basically their approach to racial issues and everything has the opposite effect of what they're intending. And yet they keep doing it. And in fact, they're encouraged to keep doing it. This keeps me up at night. It keeps me up at night. I don't know. Either they're just being complete fucking idiots, and then again, they are the police. Right? Not all. There's some police officers who I've worked with in the past who've been very, very good guys. They actually care, right? But I don't know. It bothers me. Anyway, they're good Christian people, and they're getting put out just because they're black, he said. I don't know. I think there's been some Christian tensions.
Yes, there has been some Christian tensions. Last time we had tensions like this, it was called the fucking Crusades, because Christians had balls back then.
In Northern Ireland for a little while. Claire Hanna, Belfast MP and leader of the Social Democratic and Labour Party, also says that people were being targeted because of their race. Nothing new about that, Northern Ireland. She told BBC Newsnight, what you're seeing is a race-based programme. We are seeing men going door to door asking to get the foreigners out based exclusively on the colour of their skin.
Maybe it's because people of dark skin tones like this don't just naturally crop up in fucking Ireland. Yeah, it is race-based, because it seems like the only people doing this have a certain pigment to their skin that doesn't occur in the natural ecosystem of fucking Ireland.
Apparently, I'll be honest, I had a few men on the ground. When I say men on the ground, just guys that I know that were sending me updates. And apparently there was a bunch of Indian guys marching with them. as well, and apparently they were just like balaclavaed up and everything. And apparently they were just like, you know what, fuck it, bring them along. Just so I don't know what the hell's going on there. Hello, my fellow white brother, Heil Hitler. It's like, I don't know. Indians and Mexicans, they're weird.
Yes.
First Minister Michelle O'Neill described the disorder as outright thuggery, saying groups of masked men burning families out of their homes is nothing less than disgusting cowardice.
No, it's street justice. Thuggery implies that something evil is being done. This is the opposite. This is vigilantism, and this is vigilantism done right. Because vigilantism wouldn't be fucking necessary if there wasn't corruption from the top down. Like, is Batman a bad guy now because he's a vigilante? No, because if there wasn't systemic corruption throughout the entire political systems in Gotham and the enforcement arm of Gotham City, then Batman wouldn't need to exist. But guess what? He's the only light in the darkness. And the fact that you motherfuckers making me defend Batman, we know how much I fucking actually hate Batman, says a lot.
He added the attack in North Belfast was heinous and wrong, but there are dangerous attempts to exploit that to target and attack innocent people who are simply trying to live, work, and raise their families here.
I'm being
They
objective.
keep going, the far right and the right wing keep using these attacks. Yeah, no, it's because we have an issue that is facing a lot of us. We keep pointing out examples of this issue happening. You are doing nothing whatsoever to stop any of these issues. So people are getting upset and they're going out and rioting. If you want the rioting and the disorder to stop, fix the issue. Fix the issue that at this point almost the entire country is fucking screaming about.
No, not the entire country. The entire Western world. Australia screaming about this. Ireland, fucking the UK as a whole. America. You know what? I've even seen, dare I say it, some Canadians bitching about it. Frankly, at this point, the only people I don't see bitching are the French. And let's be real, the French fucking suck. So, Fab, you absolute beautiful woman. Look at that. 10 gifted Words of Paradise memberships. Thank you so much. You didn't need to. You did. It is truly appreciated. I'm going to give you a clip, and we're actually going to have to wrap this up because the watch party is in 10 minutes. So I'm going to give you a clip. I'll read a couple more chats. Then we're going to bounce on out of here. Unfortunately, we won't get to finish the video, but I will link it to you guys. So you know what? We're going to end this with something that I know these disgusting, filthy Muslims would love. That's horsecock.
Horse semen's great.
I'm digging horsecock.
Is your cock a horse cock? You will never hear me say it. Ooh, as I make more.
My favorite stallion I keep in my top drawer kinda goes hard though.
'Cause there is no cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock and eat horse.
I don't know how we're going to ever top horsecock.
You love to see it, boys. You love to see it. Here's the link. Make sure if you want to watch the rest of the video, check it out. I just put both the YouTube and Kick side of things. I'm going to set up the raid real quick. The watch party is in 10-ish minutes, and I got to make a quick gas station run to buy some vodka because you know your boy don't watch these movies sober. I get drunk when we do it. So if you guys are in the Discord, if you guys are members of the Discord and you want to get out on the watch party, we're going to be watching Demonic Toys in about 10 to 15 minutes. If you just got to give it a membership and you're not part of the Discord, I will update the link on the community tab of my YouTube. So you like literally right now, right when the stream is over. So just go to my YouTube page, go to community. There'll be an updated link. I will see you guys in a few minutes. Let me set up a raid right quick. For those of you guys that are not going to be joining the Discord, you can at least support another creator. We're going to support my girl, Sevi. Let me get the raid set up. I know it's going to take me just a moment here. Probably should set this up in advance, but whatever. I'm retarded. And bingo, bango, bongo. Perfect. All righty, crew. I've set that up on both Kick and YouTube. We're out at 4 circles. Thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow for Neon Leon, and it's going to be a hell of a time. Thank you so much for the donos. Deuces.